On this episode of Cape Media News, the Woods Hole Film Festival celebrates 30 years. Outer Cape Health Services expands recovery services with the addition of a new structured outpatient addiction program. RTA announces free fare Fridays for bus travelers. And the Heart of Cape Cod takes us inside Be Free Wellness. These stories and more, this is Cape Media News. You're watching Cape Media News, your local, authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Thank you for joining us. If you're a fan of baseball, then you've probably been following the Cape Cod Baseball League, which kicked off its season earlier last month. Since 1985, the Cape Cod Baseball League has been one of the nation's premier collegiate summer leagues and has been the first stop for more than 1,000 players who've gone on to the major leagues. The Cape Media Center in Dennisport, where the show is taped, has been streaming live games nightly on C-SPAN Channel 98. But you can also watch their last few games and the playoffs in person. To find a game near you, visit capecodbaseball.org. If you're interested in protecting the quality of life on Cape Cod, then you may be interested in the Cape Cod Commission's 7th Annual One Cape Summit, a regional forum for collaboration, innovation, and excellence across major policy issues. This year's One Cape Summit will be held August 23rd and 24th and focuses on the critical challenges of water quality, climate change, and housing. To register for the 7th Annual One Cape Summit, visit onecape.capecodcommission.org. Local Cape Codder Judy Laster started the Woods Hole Film Festival 30 years ago with 5 films and just a handful of friends. But what began as a humble gathering has grown into one of the most sought-out events of the year in Massachusetts. Every summer, locals and visitors alike flock to Woods Hole to watch daily screenings of independent films, attend workshops, panel discussions and special events, and much, much more. Cape Media News met Judy at festival headquarters in Woods Hole to get the inside scoop. Emily Tulloch reports.
It's lights, camera, action for the 30th Annual Woods Hole Film Festival. Set to begin on July 31st, 2021, this 8-day event has a mission to showcase local independent filmmakers and foster a creative film community on Cape Cod.
This festival got started 30 years ago because I had made a short spaghetti western in Woods Hole, as everybody does, and forced all my friends to be in it and needed a place to watch it. And so a friend of mine who's a filmmaker and I decided why not start the Woods Hole Film Festival right across the street at the old Woods Hole Fire Station. At that time, nobody really knew what film festivals were. They were sort of just starting out. There had been a few big ones in, bigger cities, but they were not as ubiquitous as they are now. And so ours was sort of very tongue-in-cheek. We were going to create the East Coast version of Sundance. And so we started out as a 1-day, 1-hour event. We had 5 films, and it just kept going and growing from 1 hour to 8 days. And we've been 8 days and sort of a year round for about the last 15 years.
In addition to workshops, panel discussions, and filmmaker Q&As, the Woods Hole Film Festival will be screening over 100 independently made features.
So there's a lot of really great films this year. We have about 152 or so. They're all, I personally think this is one of the best programs we've ever had. Our feature narratives, we have 22 of them. And they actually have some really great local tie ones. So we have Jack London's Martin Eden, which was filmed in Nantucket. We also have Memoirs of a Black Girl, which was filmed right up in Boston. So, in a quick hour and a half away from here. And we have another kind of Boston film that was Last Night in Rosie, which previously showed at the festival as a short in 2017. So it's really exciting to kind of see the progression of the film from a short to now it's coming back as a feature, which is really, really cool.
The community also plays a key role in the success of the festival.
Well, so I'm a Woods Hole person, and we're all Woods Hole people, so that's why we're here. We wouldn't be able to have this festival anywhere else because it's so integrated into the community. We try when possible to show films by scientists, about scientists. We even about 6 years ago started a film and science initiative which brings together scientists and filmmakers to make better films about science. And actually this year, this festival, we're going to premiere 2 films that are our first 2 film and science productions. And so for us, the community is as much of the festival as the films are.
If you don't feel comfortable joining in person quite yet, you can purchase virtual passes and enjoy the festival at home.
So some people are a little bit hesitant about the virtual aspect of things. And so what virtual means is that you can buy a pass or you can buy a ticket to a film and you watch it either on your computer, your phone, or you can make it available on your television set. So it's really easy to do. And we try and have as many options for how people want to watch films as possible. So if you want to watch some in person and some virtual, you can do that. If you want to only do in person, you can do that. If you want to only do virtual, you can do that. And so we hope that by having a large set of options, there will be something for everybody.
And if you're craving unique cinematic experiences, supporting independent films may be for you.
One of the beauties of independent film is that the filmmakers are really passionate. They're really young often, or they're just starting their careers, and they're not really confined by, the big studio system, so they don't have to, make their film fit into XYZ categories, and they make the films that they want. And they're really passionate people because they pour their life's work into making these films, and a lot of it comes out of their own pockets. And so it's really exciting to come to the Woods Hole Film Festival and have a chance to see that work.
For more information, visit woodsholefilmfestival.org. For Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tellick.
The 30th Annual Woods Hole Film Festival runs August 31st through August 7th, 2021. To learn more or to get your festival passes, visit woodsholefilmfestival.org. Up next, learn about SOAP, the Outer Cape Health Services' new structured outpatient addiction program.
It's time for my monthly book club. It's an opportunity for us girls to connect and remind each other who's on mute. And this is how we have to meet. Because when we spend time indoors with people, we can still spread COVID faster than Nancy's gossip. That's why I'm still masking wherever I go. Because until I'm vaccinated, a mask helps slow the spread. Which means the sooner I can get back to a friend's house to judge their interior design. We can't hear you, Dolores.
Recovery services exist on a spectrum. From inpatient and residential treatment to outpatient, it's important to offer services that meet people in recovery where they are. That's why Outer Cape Health Services is now offering SOAP, a structured, short-term, clinically intensive and structured recovery program. I went to Wellfleet to learn more. Cape Media News reports. Recovery services exist on a spectrum. From inpatient and residential treatment to outpatient services, it's important to offer programs that meet people in recovery where they are. Enter the Outer Cape Health Services SOAP program, a short-term, clinically intensive and structured day program.
SOAP is an acronym. It stands for Structured Outpatient Addiction Program, and I would consider it a medium level on the spectrum of services that are available for people struggling with substance use disorder.
Outer Cape Health Services currently offers individual therapy and office-based addiction treatment. The new Structured Outpatient Addiction Program gives patients more structure and support as they navigate life without substances.
So we've had a couple of programs that patients can access where they're typically seen about once a week. But for some people, that's not quite enough structure and support for them to accomplish their goals with sobriety. And that's where SOAP came into the picture.
On Cape Cod, recovery resources are limited.
Right now, the nearest place that people can go to access this structure and this level of care is in Hyannis. And we really felt that it was important that the Outer Cape have access to this kind of resource.
The SOAP program had a soft opening in March of 2021. In June, they opened the program to the public.
So one of the unique aspects about our SOAP program is that you don't have to be an Outer Cape patient for primary care to access this program, which is really lovely that we can offer that kind of access to the community.
The SOAP program consists of group and individual therapy, and it's intensive, meeting nearly 10 hours a week.
It is an intensive program, meaning it meets a lot of hours a week. Our SOAP program meets on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays for about 3 hours each day. So it's a total of 9 to 10 hours of services a week. And that's really great for patients who need consistent structure, consistent contact to accomplish their goals.
And they also provide case management and discharge planning.
We really want patients to have the skills to maintain sobriety. We really want patients to have the resources. So social resources, other agencies that are around the Cape that can work with them, and then a peer network and the confidence to really sustain sobriety.
All of Outer Cape Health Services recovery programs follow a patient-centered medical home model.
We have a patient-centered medical home model, and I think that that's so important. With mental health is to make sure patients feel like when they're walking in the door here, this is their medical home. And even if they need more than once a week therapy, we're going to be able to meet that need.
To learn more about Outer Cape Health Services recovery service programs, visit outercape.org. In Wellfleet, for Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson. God, my hair is looking hideous. To learn more about Outer Cape Health Services Recovery Services Programs, or SOAP, visit outercape.org. Well, today is Friday, and if you don't already know, that means you can now take a free ride on any of the Regional Transit Authority's fixed bus routes. That's right, RTA has announced a new push to encourage riders to leave their cars at home by making all travel on their buses free for passengers on Fridays. I interviewed Administrator Tom Kerr to learn more about Free Fare Friday. Cape Media News reports. It's Free Fare Friday, and that means that rides on the Regional Transit Authority's fixed bus routes are now free.
We just thought that that it's a good idea to introduce more people to public transportation, let them know that it's safe and affordable and accessible, and get some cars off the road.
Free fares are not a new idea for RTA. They first introduced free fares for seniors and saw an immediate increase in ridership.
At the time, there was a lot of discussion about how Barnstable County has a significant senior population. The median age is higher than elsewhere anywhere on the East Coast. So we thought that would be an initiative that would attract folks to get onto our buses. And we look at the ridership now every week, and our fixed route ridership is noticeably higher than every other day of the week. So that worked.
Fares make up just 6% of the RTA's annual $24 million budget.
Fares are only 6% of our overall budget, which is $24 million. Not insignificant, but we get a lot of federal funds, state contract assistance, and local assessments and advertising. So we thought that, at the suggestion of our mobility manager, that if we introduced the Free Fare Fridays, it would do a number of things. It would sort of show the healthcare workers, the tourists, all the folks that have been suffering over the last year, tied up in their homes and not able to get out and about, that come to Cape Cod where it's crowded and you won't have to deal with traffic. Get on our fixed route buses, go from Bourne to Provincetown, any one of the communities, for free on Fridays.
Free Fare Fridays began on Friday, July 2nd, 2021.
We're looking at the numbers, and we haven't really analyzed everything yet, but we're certain that it's going to be a success.
Free Fare Fridays offer a seamless transfer from the Cape Flyer in Bourne to local transit that goes to any one of Cape Cod's 15 towns.
Our bus meets the Cape Flyer in Bourne, and so there's a seamless transfer right from the train to the bus to get you anywhere, your final Cape destination, any town.
And Free Fares also get cars off the road.
The roads on the Cape were never built to accommodate the volumes that they're dealing with nowadays. We have a very good a system here, a great efficient transportation system. We have professional drivers who are trained, extensively trained, and so we just think it's an opportunity to show people, what we have.
To learn more about Free Fare Fridays, visit capecodtransit.org. In Hyannis for Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Taking a free ride on Friday to one of Cape Cod's 15 towns is a great way to experience Cape Cod. To learn more about RTA's Free Fare Fridays, visit capecodtransit.org. Up next, Heart of Cape Cod goes inside Be Free Wellness in Harwich.
This is my third live concert this month. The energy is insane. The crowd, pumped. Look, I haven't seen a show in a year because the more we're indoors together, the more COVID spreads. And until I'm vaccinated, masks help slow the spread, which means the sooner we can go to concerts, like real ones.
Can you turn it down, babe?
Of course we are. So mask up, not for me, for the music.
You're watching Cape Media News. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Well, the Heart of Cape Cod is back for yet another episode highlighting small businesses on Cape Cod. And this time, we're going inside Be Free Wellness, a studio in Harwich that is dedicated to providing low-cost classes and coaching to individuals who've experienced addiction or trauma. Cape Media News met with founder Ayana Parent to learn more. Emily Tulloch reports.
Are you looking for ways to be more active? Want to try a Zumba or yoga class? Or perhaps you're just looking to meet new people? Well, look no further than Be Free Coaching and Wellness, a center that has something to offer for everyone, regardless of your fitness level.
We do a bunch of different stuff. We have a varied programmatic scheme. So we have the studio, which we're in right now, which is the classes that are open to the public. So we have things like Zumba, yoga, Pound, which is the cardio fit class using drumsticks, and a variety of different holistic workshops that we have on the weekend. But then we have individual services, which is my coaching model that I designed. So we help people specifically with really deep trauma get the emotions out of the body using movement and mindfulness. And so we just turned a nonprofit in January 2021. And so our focus really now is helping people with trauma, addiction, and oppression.
Although Ayana didn't originally set out to own a wellness studio, her passion for movement and career in social work eventually led her down this path.
So I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker. So for years and years, I did social work, and mainly in schools, mental health person, but also just loved fitness. And so I got trained to teach Zumba because I just loved dancing and movement, and then later on got trained in yoga and Pound and all the other things. So I was pretty much just doing my own social work, but that is it gets burnt out so quickly, that job. And you just take on, and I didn't know what an empath was before. And so I just learned I feel people's emotions so deeply, so I had to switch it up. But for me, what I learned was most helpful was combining the movement and talk therapy, which is how I created the model.
The studio has a unique approach to wellness, with free to low-cost services and a mission to provide movement, mindfulness, and coaching programs to anyone facing addiction or other hardships.
I think we have a pretty unique approach, and I know that people believe in it, but I don't know that anyone's really designed it quite yet. So we actually have a very specific, unique model that is proven to be working. We also see a lot of people in addiction and recovery, and our stats really show that even if they do relapse, they remain part of the community, which then makes them more successful. So But we actually have only had one person that's relapsed that's been in our recovery program, so that's pretty incredible stats right there too.
Recently, Be Free Wellness and Coaching became a nonprofit organization, which created even more accessibility and inclusion for their clients.
I'd always been wondering, like, should this be a nonprofit or a sole proprietor? And it felt so good once I made that decision, because I was like, I want to make this so accessible. Like, mental health and wellness was just the goal, to make it remove all the barriers altogether. Like, can we just get out of people's way? And if financially that's a barrier, let's remove it. So I think what we're seeing now is more folks are coming to us that wouldn't have been able to before. I do a lot of diversity and equity work, and so I'm really trying to reach out to people of color, and just that's also part of why I started the nonprofit, to really have access for them to wellness, because it's another thing, like, it's, there's so much stigma around yoga and white spaces and just all these ways in which wellness doesn't feel accepting to people of color. So I've really tried to make this space specific to that population. But again, it's so small on Cape Cod. I'm hoping the nonprofit and all the outreach and networking that we're doing would really help that population as well.
You can find out more information by visiting BeFreeWell.com. In Harwich, for Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tulloch.
To learn more about Be Free Wellness, Inc., visit BeFreeWell.com. Well, that brings us to the end of this week's episode of Cape Media News. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next time with a brand new episode. With Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.